Session 3 is a really important session, and it's one of my favorite sessions because this stage of the Rolfing, it contributes a lot to the overall benefits of Rolfing. So basically it does three things. We work along the myofascial trains along the sides of the body from basically the knee all the way up to the sides of the neck. And we balance those myofascial trains on each side. That's the first thing. The second thing, the work we do around the iliotibial band in the front where the quadriceps attach and the back where the hamstrings attach contributes to the rotations of the pelvis. It's quite common that one side of the pelvis is rotated forward, for example, and this is because the quadriceps on the typically the right side are pulling that pelvis forward. And in the work in session 3, we work on where the quadriceps attach on the side of on the front of the iliotibial band, and similarly with the hamstrings on the back of the iliotibial band. So that work and the important work we do around the hip itself starts to balance any asymmetries in the pelvic rotation. And this is very useful for people with lower back pain, for people with scoliosis, for example. And the third thing we do is we decompress the rib cage from the hips, because there is a muscle called the Quadratus Lumborum muscle which connects the 12th rib to the hips. And again, it's common for one to be more contracted than the one on the other side. So by balancing those two sides of the rib cage connection with the hips, we also balance the rib cage and in turn start to deal with rotations and side bends in the spine. So a lot happens in session 3. And the third, or maybe fourth thing that we do in session 3 is by lengthening along the sides and lengthening the distance between the hip and the neck, we start to look at the transitions of the spine. So sometimes with clients you see them standing from the side and there are sharp transitions in the lower back and between the upper back and the neck. And often this is an area where there's compression and often pain. And session 3 starts to improve those contours of the back, which then gives you a balance with the front of the body. So we're balancing the front and the back of the body. We're starting that project in session 3. Very important session, very different from session 2, which is much more specific on the feet and lower leg. The territory of session 3 is much more broad, covering all the sides of the body.